Welcome everybody, Mr. Gamer Guru 13 here, back with another review. This time I'm reviewing Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation Portable. It was published and developed by Square Enix. It is very much a fan service game, I feel, but it is also a definite need for this game in the storyline. Final Fantasy VII was completely chaotic. The storyline was all over the place. You met people, they died off. You didn't know what was going on all the time. Um, and it just needed some backup, some history to the story so you can understand Final Fantasy VII much better. Again, this was produced and developed, published and developed by Square Enix. Um, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, like I said, is a fan service game, but it is also one of the best games in the Final Fantasy series and one of the best games on the PlayStation Portable. It is a must-buy, a must-have, and a must-own. For any collector out there, this will be definitely a good game to pick up. It reintroduces all of the great characters, good and bad. You have Cid, Sephiroth, Aerith, Tifa, Cloud, and Zack Fair. This, if you remember in Final Fantasy VII, Cloud met with one of his friends. There was a scene with them in the back of a truck, and Zack Fair was introduced, and shortly after that he was killed. So you didn't really know much about Zack. Well, not this go around. This is Zack's story, and this story is very intriguing. It's fun. It's emotional. It's a wild ride throughout the entire game that will keep you on the edge of your seat wanting more. It will you'll constantly be thinking about, I found myself constantly thinking about this game when I wasn't playing it. And there may have been some nostalgia reasons behind that because Final Fantasy VII was my first role-playing game that I ever played. But this is a prequel to the cult classic role-playing game in 1997, Final Fantasy VII. And for good reason, this game should have been put out. Like I said before, there was lots and lots of confusion for me in the Final Fantasy VII game, and this clears up a lot of those questions that you may have had. Now, I'm not going to get into too much story because everything could be considered a spoiler since this is a prequel, but I'll get into a little bit of it. You start out playing as Zack Fair, who is a Shinra soldier. You do end up meeting Cloud and becoming friends, as the scene in Final Fantasy VII told us. And you are actually a better soldier than Cloud in this game, which is hard to believe because Cloud was, the strongest, the best. But this is Zack's story, so he is the strongest. He is the main character. You only play as Zack. You don't have any party members. If you do have a party member, you can't control them. And it tweaks a lot of the mechanics from the Final Fantasy VII game. The game mechanics. It tweaks a lot of the mechanics. Some stay the same, but most of it is a fresh, completely new battle system. And there's going to be a lot of nostalgia for this game for people who have played Final Fantasy VII, people who have heard about it or seen their friends play it, but there's also a lot of originality to this game. Crisis Core throws out most of the traditional role-playing elements from Final Fantasy VII. It is an action role-playing game, and it's mostly broken up into very, very short, quick turns. So it's not a turn-based, it's an action, pretty much real-time game, but there are, gauges that need to fill and pretty much turns. But it's played in an action RPG hack and slash type manner. Now, the battles are still at random, so you're running through the map, you'll be encountering a battle, and then you'll go to a designated field. That's still the same, but there's many different things. You still have materia in the game, and you collect materia, and you can level up that materia. You can level up Zack himself, and you can also combine and I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like some sort of, it's a customization deal in here, but you can combine certain types of materia and create your own. So that's something that's very interesting and new to this game. Almost like the Chocobo breeding in Final Fantasy VII, but it's materia breeding. You can create your own materia spells, and so if you do 2 cure spells, it'll probably come out as Curaga, or 2 fire spells will probably come out as Fireaga, or whatnot. You get the picture. But something that's very interesting in this game is the DMW. It's called the Digital Mind Wave, and it is pretty much a spinning slot machine up in the upper left corner of the screen, and it is always going as long as you have soldier points, SP, which are used to keep the slot machine, or the DMW, running, the Digital Mind Wave running, and it also uses as currency in the game. But you do not gain experience points. You do not gain experience points for anything in this game. What you do earn is soldier points after battles, and that's what keeps this digital mind wave spinning at all times. And that is how you level up. It is pretty much all at random. All your summon attacks, all your summon spells, if you have them equipped, all your special attacks, all your limit breaks, and all of the leveling up of your materia and Zack himself are done randomly through this DMW spinning wheel. At first I thought, gosh, this is really ridiculous. You know, it felt like there was no progression. I felt like I wasn't progressing my character at all. It was all at random. But there is motive behind this. The more battles you do fight, the more you will level up. It's a basic system, and it does work very well. So don't get discouraged for there being no experience points, because it works great. And it's also kind of fun towards the end when you get 3 sevens. You know, there will be faces spinning of characters, and if the first and third wheels get the same character, you will go into something called a modulating phase, which will take you into another screen, another scene, and you will be able to, if you get that next character, you'll have a limit break or a special attack, and then you will also have a chance to level something up. So your numbers, there's also numbers that are spinning as well. So whatever slot you have your materia equipped in, if you get 2 of that number, you will level up that materia, and if you get 3 sevens, you will level up Zack. So that is pretty much how the limit break system works in this game. I feel it's random. It may not be random, but it feels very random. Overall, the story is absolutely excellent. It's one of the best stories in the Final Fantasy series, and it's a prequel to one of the best Final Fantasy games of all time. So how can you really beat that? You can't. So bottom line is these, and also some of the graphics in this game rival that of PS3 graphics. The cutscenes rival that of PS3 cutscenes on such a little teeny little screen, such a little teeny portable handheld. I've never seen such good graphics. Square, I don't know how they do it and why others don't copy their style or don't learn from them, but they always have the best graphics and the best cutscenes of anybody, them and Capcom as well, I believe. But you know, another thing that's really, really great about this game is the music, and you're gonna love the music because you'll recognize all the music when you go into a certain area, when you go into the Shinra buildings, when you go into town, when you go into the upper part or the lower levels of the city. You're going to recognize the music, and all the battle music is the same. The finishing music, you know, the end battle, it's all the same, and it all brings back so many memories of when I was 13, 14, whatever I was when I was playing this game, maybe a little bit younger than that. And it brings back all those good memories of me and my friends just staying up all night playing Final Fantasy VII, switching out memory cards and whatnot, playing each other's games. But overall, this game is absolutely excellent. It's one of the best games on the PSP. It's definitely worthy of a pickup. And I think everybody should get out there and play it. Even if you're not a fan of Final Fantasy VII, this would be a good spot to start because it is a prequel to Final Fantasy VII itself. So you don't have to have played Final Fantasy VII to know the story in this game. So ultimately, bottom line, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core is going to get a 9.0 out of 10. I took a little bit of points off for just the learning curve. There's a little bit of learning curve and a little bit of at the beginning with the random battle or the random DMW kind of deterred me a bit at the beginning, but once I finally figured it out, it was very intriguing and a very cool system. So again, don't let that deter you. But thank you everybody for watching my review on Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. And please rate, review, subscribe if you like. The next video that'll be coming out, I'll be doing a trade video, either that or a Games for Less installment. And I also am in the middle of editing right now Resident Evil 5 review. So everybody stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Later on.